Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review Series, January 29th, 1983. And continue to be a good program. Probably one of my favorite forays into old school wrestling. Of course, I'll probably say that over every territory. I love stuff prior to the junk attitude era. But anyway, we moved to Tom Ernesto Jr. versus Tim Horner. And Ernesto Jr. not here very long, but here for a while. Horner relatively new, I think still in his rookie year. You see him go to town. Also see him hit a good bit of arm drags. Ernesto comes up with a atomic drop, and we see that shift around. Ernesto manages to go down to another arm drag, and then we see Horner work the arm for the next several minutes, getting a couple minutes out of an arm bar. Truly an awesome thing. Anyway, we kind of see Ernesto managing to do a little bit of cheating. He cuts off the ring on Horner, even in a singles match, using the ropes, using the turnbuckles, using any advantage he can get. Big back body drop by Ernesto on Horner, and Horner comes out the back door. Horner, of course, using the Fez press primarily as a finish, which is kind of ironic to me that a rookie would use that as a finish. But anyhow, big or attempted big Beal. Sometimes guys just don't know how to do a Beal out of the corner. Some guys don't know how to get up for it, but not everyone should do it. Big flying forearm by Horner, who manages to get a victory soon thereafter with the aforementioned Fez press. Kamala and Iron Mike Sharp, probably one of the bigger challenges for Kamala, at least to this point in his career foray. Friday is there with him. Akbar also there. I think this is a Houston match, mainly because the ring lighting is different, and usually that's my denotion of different stuff. Anyway, Iron Mike Sharp, former Louisiana champion, pretty big deal in the area at the time, and we kind of see him go around for the next couple of months. I think he's here through most of the first half of the year, if not the complete first half of the year. Kamala sends Iron Mike Sharp to the floor. Odd that this is kind of his first real challenge that turns into a match versus a squash. And there's a good bit of stalling as Sharp spends a good bit of time on the floor trying to regather himself, recapture himself. Kamala with big chops, and to his credit, Sharp sells them like $1 million, trying to make Kamala look big and nasty, mean, and all that good stuff. Anyway, big drop kick by Sharp, but Kamala doesn't even leave his feet, so you kind of see the foray by Kamala into fighting his way out of the corner and kind of being there as I don't know that I would say a major force, but certainly a force, choking out and biting on Mike Sharp, among other things. And then we kind of see Kamala trying to break the match down a little bit. It doesn't get all he wants on that. And, we kind of see the benefit of Kamala brawling in the corner a little bit. Sharp trying to get his way back to his feet. Obviously, the full Nelson or the backbreaker hold, both of holds that Sharp has used in the past, not going to work on Kamala. Kamala continues to choke out his adversary here as much as possible. Back elbow by Kamala, and Kamala manages to continue to be very aggressive and assertive towards the former Louisiana State champion, and double chop to the throat, and a big splash by Kamala gives him the victory, much to the delight of Skandar Akbar. JYD attacks Ted DiBiase in a pre-match, I guess, deal. JYD makes his way out. Duggan is out there with him, and JYD manages to kind of come out, and there's a delay in the match, and JYD clears the ring of DiBiase and Duggan. So that feud obviously not complete. Tony Atlas comes in to help with that battle. So Atlas a little bit aligned there. Don Bass and Tony Atlas is up next. Don Bass, a relative newcomer to the area, but enhancement talent around the country and the like, goes to work on Atlas with quite a few, punch kick, basic shots. Atlas again, kind of the strongman, Superman type, and hits several shots in the punch, basic punches. Big body slam by Atlas. Atlas manages to hit a headbutt as well, and we kind of see Atlas with a top rope clothesline slash clubbing forearm, big splash in the middle of the ring, and Atlas gets a victory. We move on to Kiniski and Lundy, otherwise known as Arn Anderson, versus Landell and Torres. So they're trying to fill out the show here. Continuation of wrestling being the highlight, and that's one thing that Mid-South has over most territories. A lot of territories were interview heavy because they didn't have guys that were forced to go longer. And that's one thing that Bill Watts has over other territories is he only would hire guys who could draw matches out and get something out of them. Lundy continues to be a major talent. Kiniski, an interesting partner. Landell and Anderson is something I would have liked to have seen years later, but I don't think it ever happened because they were both heels at the time they were together in larger promotions. I think. I could be wrong on that. Tag off, and Kiniski comes in, and he finds himself on the receiving end of some arm drags. Landell, a good baby face, but not one that interacts with the crowd a lot. Short knee to the midsection by Kiniski, who manages to cut the ring off. Such smart stuff. Know where you are. Hot tag onto Torres, and that's a quick cutoff by Lundy. Lundy manages to use knees, and then again back to the corner. I think even in 1982, years before he would join the Andersons, which I think was 84, 85, Lundy had tag team psychology down. So I actually would love to learn, where he got that from. Anyway, a big drop kick or a big leg drop rather, and a cutoff. Hard shots by by Kiniski cutting off again. Lundy having even more poise, I would say, than Kiniski, who has more experience, which is an interesting dichotomy. Lundy manages to use the bottom of his boot as a choke mechanism, and he and Kiniski continue the beatings in the corner, continue to break the man down, and really kind of just several minutes of a lot of heel stuff. I would assume with the amount of heel work here that the hot tag is supposed to lead to a babyface when I remember writing that down. And finally, Landell does get a hot tag, manages to hit like one, maybe two offensive maneuvers, including a drop kick where he overshoots the man, and then manages to get tag his partner back in, which is just stupid. So, little lack of psychology even here in 1983. Kiniski manages to control things for the next little while and hits a back suplex, falling style, and gets a victory here, and good for that team. Then we have more of a main event type of situation. We see Matt Bourne and Chavo Guerrero. DiBiase still complaining about the Junkyard Dog, still complaining pre-match about not receiving proper tag team championship opportunities and all of that. But Guerrero and Bourne, an interesting clash of styles. Guerrero more the speed guy, and obviously Bourne not. They go grappling, looking for head position early, cut off by Guerrero actually taking the first few minutes of the match. Body slam, tries for an elbow drop, misses the elbow drop. But I would say Guerrero, the aggressor early in the contest, takes Bourne around the ring with shots to the turnbuckles and all the basic stuff that you would see. Guerrero over with the crowd here at the Irish McNeil's Boys Club, more because of his history in the sport, I think. Obviously, being second generation Gory Guerrero, his father, and the father of the patriarch of the Guerrero family in general. Bourne coming up, so you get two second generation guys in there. You see the difference in the layout of the match. You see the difference in match pacing. Full Nelson by Bourne early, and the referee has been knocked to the outside while this full Nelson's being applied. Duggan runs in, and we see a miscue between Duggan and Bourne, and Bourne goes down, gets nailed. Bourne is not happy with that, although there is a double team by Duggan and Bourne. Interesting dichotomy there. Big slam. Ridiculous to me that, in fact, there's no one to make a save for a couple of minutes for Chavo Guerrero Jr., which is just goofy. Atlas finally does make a way out and does the slam off the top rope bit and teams up with Chavo against Duggan. Referee comes back in, calls for the bell. Match thrown out, obviously, and then we move to Taylor and Stark versus Wrestling 2 and Cruz. As your main event, of course, Tug Taylor and Joe Stark, the enhancement talents here. They're given about, I don't know, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. Taylor hasn't really found himself. He gets ground down into the canvas a bit, and obviously Mr. Wrestling 2 and Art Cruz. Cruz, again, an enhancement talent. Sometimes you got to fill out the card with enhancements if you don't have everybody on your TV. You also don't want to burn people out. Wrestling 2 still trying to figure out who's sending him the masks, still trying to figure out all of that. Wrestling 2 wrestles around, gets cut off in the corner of the heels, and a very basic match. We see the Irish whip, big back body drop on Cruz, who has been tagged into the ring, and only a couple of minutes left in the program. I don't even no, at this point, I remember in the match not even thinking they'd get to a finish, but a big body slam by Taylor, and then goes for the cover. 1-2 out the back door comes Cruz, and again, I don't necessarily know why they're putting this match together. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Amazingly, though, Wrestling 2 comes in, hits a knee lift, and does not finish the match right off. Cruz manages a backdrop, and Wrestling 2 in there, setting up for the second knee lift. He is, I believe, the legal man, gets the knee lift, and does get about to get the victory right as we go off the air. So kind of a tease for some under talent coming up maybe a little bit. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.